Have you ever felt like the world is constantly throwing curveballs and you're just barely keeping your head above water? Like, despite your best efforts, you often feel frustrated, anxious, or just plain tired. From trying to control things that feel utterly uncontrollable, you might interpret these feelings as signs of weakness, a lack of resilience, or not being, quote, strong enough. But what if those very experiences, that deep frustration, that sense of powerlessness, or the moments when you think you're about to break, are actually a profound misdirection? What if the real signs of your strength are so subtle, so counterintuitive, that you've been overlooking them your entire life? It's easy to look at the daily challenges we face, the difficult people, the unexpected setbacks, the constant demands, and feel overwhelmed, like we're just not built to handle it all. We often see our struggles as proof that we're falling short, that others are somehow better equipped for life's ups and downs. But this common way of thinking about strength is often completely wrong. We are so used to seeing strength as something loud, obvious, or about being in charge of everything around us. Yet Epictetus, the ancient Stoic philosopher, argued that true power isn't found in what you control, but in how you respond to what you can't. He reveals that many of us possess a profound inner fortitude we simply haven't learned to recognize. This isn't just about personal feelings, It's a universal human tendency to misunderstand where our real power lies, often leading us to feel defeated when we should, in fact, feel truly empowered. In this video, we're not just going to talk about philosophy, we're going to embark on an exploration of your own hidden strength. We'll uncover 5 powerful signs, straight from Epictetus's wisdom, that show you are far more resilient and capable than you might ever give yourself credit for. Get ready to shift your perspective and truly see the immense inner power you already possess. So, let's dive into the first powerful sign, that you are much stronger than you give yourself credit for. A sign that often goes completely unnoticed. Sign number 1. You actively work to change what you can control. This might sound simple, almost too obvious, but it's where most people stumble. We spend so much of our energy, our mental power, and our time trying to fix, manage, or worry about things that are simply not within our power to change. Think about it. How much time do you spend worrying about the weather, the opinions of others, the economy, or decisions made by people you have no influence over? These things are external to you. They happen to you, or around you. You can't directly command them to be different. Epictetus taught us the fundamental truth that he called the dichotomy of control. He said, some things are in our control and others are not. So what's in our control? Our own thoughts, our desires, our aversions, our opinions, and our actions. And what's not in our control? Our bodies, our possessions, our reputations, and other people's actions or opinions. Now, most people believe that being strong means forcing the world to bend to their will. They think strength is about having power over external circumstances, things like being rich, being famous, being in charge of a big company, or even just making sure their daily commute is perfectly smooth. But Epictetus would tell you that chasing control over externals is a path to constant frustration and weakness. Why? Because you'll inevitably fail. The world doesn't care about your plans. Traffic happens. People disagree with you. Illness strikes. The true sign of strength, according to Epictetus, is when you recognize this fundamental difference, and then, crucially, you direct your energy inward. You understand that your power lies in your response, not in the event itself. If you're someone who, when faced with a problem you can't change, quickly shifts focus to what you can do, then you're exercising true strength. Imagine you're stuck in a massive traffic jam. Most people would become angry, honk their horn, yell, or frantically check their phones. They're trying to control the uncontrollable, the flow of traffic. They become victims of the situation. But if you're someone who, after an initial moment of frustration, thinks, okay, I can't move this traffic, but I can listen to that podcast I've been meaning to, or call a friend, or simply practice some deep breathing, well, that's a sign of immense inner power. You're not letting the external event dictate your internal state. You're taking control of the only thing you truly own, your mind and your actions. Or consider a situation at work. Your boss makes a decision you strongly disagree with. You can't force them to change their mind. Many people would stew, complain to colleagues, or let it eat away at them. But if your immediate thought is, okay, I can't control their decision, but I can control how I approach the task given this new direction. I can still do my best work, or I can look for opportunities to learn from it, or, I can decide if this job is still the right fit for me. Then you're demonstrating the strength of focusing on what's within your power. You might think, but it's so hard to just let go of things outside my control. And, you're absolutely right. It is hard. It goes against our natural wiring to try and influence everything around us. But the very act of trying to shift your focus, the conscious effort to disengage from worry about externals and redirect your energy to your internal world, that effort is the sign of your strength. It shows you're not a slave to circumstances. You're actively seeking mastery over your own mind, which really is the only true form of mastery there is. This brings us directly to our second sign, which builds on this idea of internal focus. Sign number 2. You feel discomfort or frustration when external events don't go your way, but you don't let it destroy your inner peace. This point is crucial because it addresses a common misunderstanding about strength. Many people, they believe that being strong means never feeling negative emotions. They think if you're truly resilient, you should be completely calm, cool, and collected all the time, no matter what happens. But that's simply not realistic, and frankly, it's not what Epictetus taught either. Epictetus, you see, he understood that we are human beings. We have natural reactions. When something bad happens, like losing something valuable, or facing an unexpected bill, or even hearing harsh criticism, it's natural to feel a pang of sadness, or worry, or frustration. That initial feeling, it isn't the problem. Epictetus never said you shouldn't feel anything at all. The true sign of strength, it lies in what you do after that initial feeling. Do you let that discomfort take over? Do you let it spin you into a cycle of despair or anger or anxiety that lasts for hours, days, or even weeks? Or do you acknowledge the feeling, you experience it, and then you work to prevent it from completely disrupting your inner calm and your ability to think clearly? Epictetus famously said, and this is a great one, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. He wasn't saying don't react at all. No. He was saying your ultimate reaction, your sustained response. That's what's truly important. True strength isn't the absence of feeling, you see. It's the ability to regulate your feelings and maintain your judgment, even when things are really difficult. Think about a time someone unfairly criticized you. Your stomach might have dropped, your heart might have raced, and you might have felt a wave of anger or hurt. These are natural, automatic responses. If you then spent the rest of the day replaying the criticism, imagining arguments, or feeling utterly defeated, you allowed that external event to destroy your peace. But if you felt that initial sting, acknowledged it, and then consciously thought, okay, that hurt, but what's within my control here? Can I learn something? Is this person's opinion something I need to internalize? Or is it just their opinion, and I can choose to let it go? That's immense strength. You didn't suppress the feeling, but you didn't let it conquer you. You processed it and moved on. Consider another example. You're planning a fun outing, and suddenly the weather turns terrible, or a friend cancels at the last minute. You feel that familiar disappointment or annoyance. The weak response is to lash out, to complain endlessly, or to let it ruin your entire day. The strong response, as Epictetus would see it, is to feel that initial disappointment, perhaps even verbalize it, oh, that's a bummer, but then pivot. Okay, so the outdoor plan is off. What can I do instead? Can I read that book, watch that movie, or come up with an indoor alternative? You allow the feeling to pass through you without clinging to it. You don't let it become your identity or dominate your mind. This ability to bounce back emotionally, not by denying your feelings but by managing them and choosing your perspective, is a powerful indicator of your inner fortitude. It shows you understand that while external events might touch you, they don't own you. you still hold the ultimate say over your inner world. This is a subtle but profound mastery, and if you find yourself doing this, even imperfectly, you're tapping into your hidden strength. This leads us even deeper into understanding where our emotions truly come from, and that's our third sign. Sign number 3. You recognize that your emotions come from your interpretations, not the events themselves. This sign is perhaps one of the most challenging, but also the most liberating insights from Epictetus. It directly follows from the previous point about feeling discomfort. While we naturally feel an initial pang, the sustained emotional states, the prolonged anger, the deep anxiety, the lasting sadness, these don't come directly from external events. They come from our judgments and our interpretations of those events. Epictetus put it plainly, men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of them. This is a profound idea. It means that the traffic jam itself, it doesn't make you angry. No, your belief that traffic jams are an intolerable waste of your precious time, or that they shouldn't happen to you, that's what makes you angry. Similarly, the criticism from your boss doesn't make you feel defeated. It's your belief that their criticism defines your worth, or that you must always be perfect, that makes you feel defeated. This is a really tough truth to accept, because it means taking full responsibility for your emotional life. It's much easier to say that person made me angry, or this situation made me anxious. But Epictetus, he'd say, no, that person said something and you chose to interpret it as an attack. And that interpretation, that's what made you angry. Or that situation occurred and you chose to interpret it as a catastrophe. And that interpretation, that's what made you anxious. If you're someone who has started to notice this, who when you feel a strong negative emotion, you actually pause and ask yourself, what am I telling myself about this situation? What judgment am I making? Then you are demonstrating incredible strength. This self-awareness, this ability to peek behind the curtain of your immediate reaction, that is a hallmark of true inner power. It means you're not just a passive recipient of whatever feelings external events throw your way. You're an active participant in shaping your inner world. Think of it this way. 2 people lose their jobs on the same day. One person immediately feels devastated, believing it's the end of their career, that they're a failure, and that they'll never recover. This interpretation leads to deep depression. The other person feels initial shock and sadness, but then thinks, this is an opportunity for a fresh start. Maybe I can pursue that passion project, or find a job that's a better fit, or learn new skills. This interpretation leads to a sense of purpose and resilience. The event was the same. The interpretation was different, leading to vastly different emotional outcomes. Or imagine a common scenario. You send an important text message, and you don't get an immediate reply. One person might immediately spiral into thoughts like, they're ignoring me, they're mad at me, I must have said something wrong. This interpretation leads to anxiety. Another person might think, they're probably busy, they'll reply when they can. This interpretation leads to peace. The lack of reply is the same. Your internal story about it is different. It takes courage to admit that your emotional suffering often comes from within, from the stories you tell yourself. It's much easier to blame the world, to be a victim of circumstances. But if you've started to recognize this pattern in yourself, if you're trying to catch those limiting or negative interpretations before they take root and dictate your mood, then you are engaging in profound self-mastery. You are demonstrating a powerful inner strength by reclaiming ownership of your emotional landscape. This self-awareness is the foundation for truly choosing your responses, which brings us to our 4th sign. Sign number 4. You choose your responses, even when provoked or under pressure. This sign is the active application of the previous 2. If you understand what's in your control, your responses, and you recognize that your emotions come from your interpretations, then the next step for a truly strong person is to consciously choose how they will respond, rather than simply reacting on impulse. Epictetus taught that our prohairesis, which can be translated as our faculty of choice, or our will, is the only thing truly up to us. Everything else can be taken away. Your body might fail you, your possessions can be stolen, your reputation can be ruined by others. But your ability to choose how you will respond, how you will use your judgment, that is untouchable. It is your ultimate freedom. and your ultimate source of power. Most people react. Something happens, and they respond automatically, often driven by anger, fear, or ingrained habits. Someone cuts them off in traffic, and they immediately yell or gesture. Someone says something rude, and they snap back. This isn't weakness in the sense of being a bad person, but it is a sign that their inner power, their prohairesis, is not fully in command. They are being controlled by external triggers and their unexamined impulses. If you are someone who, when provoked or under pressure, can pause, even for a split second, and consciously decide how you will act, then you are exhibiting immense strength. This pause, this moment of choice, is where true freedom and power reside. It's like a tiny muscle you're training every time. You don't immediately lash out. Don't immediately give in to despair, or don't immediately take offense. Consider a challenging conversation where someone is deliberately trying to upset you. Their words are designed to trigger an emotional reaction. An impulsive person might yell back, cry, or storm off. But if you are someone who feels that initial anger or frustration rise up, and then you consciously decide, I will not let this person control my emotions. I will respond calmly, or I will choose not to respond at all right now. That, right there, is a monumental display of strength. You are saying, my peace is more important than my ego's need to be right or to retaliate. You are exercising your prohairesis. Think about moments of intense pressure, like a tight deadline at work or a major family crisis. It's easy to panic, to become overwhelmed, to lash out at those around you. But if you are able to take a breath, assess the situation, and then calmly and deliberately choose your next action, whether it's breaking down the problem into smaller steps, asking for help, or simply focusing on one task at a time, you are demonstrating that your rational mind is in control, not your panic. This doesn't mean you're a robot, devoid of emotion. You might still feel angry or afraid or stressed, but the strength lies in the fact that you feel it, acknowledge it, and then choose not to let it dictate your behavior. You separate the emotion from the action. This takes incredible self-awareness, discipline, and a deep understanding of what truly belongs to you. If you consistently make efforts to choose your responses rather than just react, you are stronger than you think. This disciplined choice, in the face of difficulty, is a skill that only grows stronger when you embrace challenge. Which, well, that leads us to our final sign. Sign number 5, you embrace discomfort and uncertainty as opportunities for growth. This is perhaps the most advanced sign of inner strength, according to Epictetus. While most people actively seek comfort, ease, and predictability, the truly strong individual, the one embodying Stoic wisdom, sees discomfort, uncertainty, and obstacles as training grounds. They don't just tolerate difficulty, they actively welcome it as a chance to practice their philosophy and, well, grow. Epictetus believed that life is like a wrestling match or a training exercise. He said, every difficulty in life is a chance for us to turn inwards and invoke our resources. Think about it. If you only ever face easy situations, how can you ever know how strong you truly are? How can you develop resilience, patience, or courage? You really can't. It's only by pushing against resistance that you build mental muscle. Most people run from discomfort. They avoid difficult conversations. They stick to routines that are safe and predictable. And they shy away from new challenges that might involve failure or embarrassment. They see discomfort as a sign that something is wrong, something to be avoided at all costs. This pursuit of constant comfort, however, ironically, makes them weaker in the long run, totally unprepared for the inevitable curveballs life will throw. If you're someone who, when faced with a new, challenging task or an uncertain future, doesn't immediately shrink back but instead leans in, even with a bit of nervousness, then you are profoundly strong. If you see a difficult conversation as an opportunity to practice clear communication and emotional regulation, rather than something to dread and avoid, you're showing immense courage. If you view a setback not as a personal failure, but as a chance to learn, adapt, and improve, you're demonstrating incredible resilience. Consider someone who gets offered a promotion that comes with a lot more responsibility, and a steep learning curve. The weak response is to turn it down because it's too much pressure or too much change. The strong response, in Epictetus's view, is to accept the challenge. They might think, "This is going to be difficult. I might make mistakes. I'm not entirely sure I can do it. But this is exactly the kind of test I need to grow. I'll apply myself, learn what I can, and see what I'm truly capable of." This embrace of uncertainty is a sign that you trust yourself to handle whatever comes your way. Another example, you feel a strong urge to avoid a difficult conversation with a family member about an ongoing issue. It would be easier to just let it slide, to avoid the potential conflict and discomfort. But if you choose to initiate that conversation, knowing it'll be uncomfortable, because you see it as an opportunity to resolve an issue, to practice assertive communication, and to strengthen your relationship in the long run, well, that is a monumental act of strength. You're voluntarily stepping into the arena of discomfort for a greater good, for your own growth and peace of mind. This sign is about seeing the world not as something that happens to you, but as a series of training exercises designed to make you stronger, wiser, and more virtuous. It's about cultivating a mindset where difficulties aren't obstacles to your happiness, but pathways to it, because they force you to engage your inner resources. If you find yourself increasingly willing to step into discomfort, to welcome uncertainty, and to view challenges as opportunities for self-improvement, then you're not just stronger than you think, you're actively forging a powerful and resilient character. So, we started this video by questioning if those feelings of frustration, anxiety, and being overwhelmed were truly signs of weakness, or if they were a profound misdirection, hiding your true strength. Now, I hope you see that it's the latter. You are far more powerful than you realize, and Epictetus's wisdom illuminates why. We've explored 5 profound signs that prove this inner fortitude, from actively working on what you can control, to feeling discomfort without letting it destroy your peace, and recognizing that your sustained emotions come from your interpretations. We then saw the strength in consciously choosing your responses, even under pressure, and finally, how embracing discomfort and uncertainty as opportunities for growth is the mark of true resilience. If you've recognized even one of these signs in yourself, if you've had moments where you consciously shifted your focus, managed a difficult emotion, questioned a negative interpretation, made a deliberate choice in a tough situation, or even just tried to lean into a challenge, then you are not weak, you are not failing. You are, in fact, embodying the very principles of inner power that Epictetus taught millennia ago. Your struggles weren't signs of weakness. They were your training ground, forging the immense inner strength you already possess. This isn't about becoming perfect. It's about recognizing the power you already have. Your true strength lies within you, always available, waiting for you to recognize it and put it to use, choosing mastery over victimhood. Now, the real work begins. This video is just the start. I invite you to apply these powerful signs in your daily life. Start noticing those moments when you do exhibit this strength, however small. Celebrate them, because they are proof of your profound inner power. I'd love to hear from you. Which of these 5 signs resonated most deeply with you? Share your thoughts and your own experiences in the comments below. Let's build a community focused on self-mastery and resilience. If you found value in this exploration of Epictetus's timeless wisdom, and you want to continue uncovering profound insights from philosophy's greatest minds to help you navigate the complexities of modern life, then make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. We're just getting started on this path of self-discovery and empowerment. Thank you for watching, and remember, you are stronger than you think, much stronger.